I have played both Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2 far too many times. Like, no one should replay any game as many times as I've played these two Rockstar masterpieces. But I have, and in my time doing so, I've near enough memorized every detail about these two Wild West tales that make up a single cumulative story of redemption. And today, I thought I'd put that space in my brain to good use, and look back on the franchise to retell this incredible story. Before we begin, it would really help me out if you could hit like, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe with post notifications turned on. Also, this video cannot happen without the support of my patrons over on patreon.com/founded production. Without further ado, this is the entire story of Red Dead Redemption. The year is 1899, as we witness the infamous Vanderlyn gang on the run after a ferry robbery went horribly wrong. As the gang trek through the harsh weather of the Grizzly Mountains, we're introduced to our protagonist in Red Dead 2, Arthur Morgan, who wasn't present at the heist and is still in the process of uncovering the unclear and messy details of the disaster, as the gang mourn the loss of Davy, one of its higher members.
Listen to me, all of you, for a moment. Now, we've had a bad couple of days. I loved Davy, Jenny, Sean, Mac. They may be okay. We don't know. But we lost some folks. Now, if I could throw myself in the ground in their stead, I'd do it. Gladly. But we're gonna ride out and we're gonna find some food. Everybody, we're safe now. There ain't nobody following us through a storm like this one. And by the time they get here, well, we're gonna be long gone. We've been through worse than this before. Now all of you, get yourselves warm. Stay strong. Stay with me. We ain't done yet.
Trying to escape the Pinkerton Detective Agency, the gang search for shelter from the wind and snow, coming across a small farmhouse, where they unknowingly run into another gang of outlaws who've taken the house, killed the owner, and are keeping the farmer's wife, Sadie Adler, as prisoner.
Whoa, look what I found in the cellar! Wild thing, ain't ya?
Leave her alone!
I wasn't doing nothing. She's one of them O'Driscolls.
No, she ain't, Michael. Look at her. Miss, are you...
Oh, you fool! Michael!
Miss, now, it is gonna be okay. We mean you no harm. Miss, come on. It'll be okay. We need to get out of here, and quick. Come on now. Oh. You okay, miss?
They came 3 days ago. And my husband,
Okay. Miss, you are safe now. And you can't stay here. You come with us. Arthur.
Miss, it's okay. We're bad men. We ain't them. It's okay. Get on. We'll keep you safe until you figure out what you want to do.
What's your name, miss? Miss?
Adler,
Adler.
Sadie Adler, Mrs. He was my husband.
As the gang find shelter, Abigail Marston, the wife of the MIA John Marston, begs Arthur to go out and find her husband, who went ahead to scout the mountains, a task Arthur begrudgingly takes on.
If the situation were reversed, he'd look for me.
Arthur and John both joined the gang young, growing up as brothers under Dutch van der Linde's tutelage, but after the birth of his son, John abandoned the gang for a period of 6 months, refusing to take responsibility for his child in the boy's early years, something Arthur far from took lightly. Stumbling across the man atop one of the grizzlies, scarred from an encounter with wolves, Arthur alongside Javier Escuela take John back to camp and back to safety. Back at camp, the gang's next job was to get together enough resources to escape the mountains, and Dutch's first plan is to do so by raiding a camp of members of the O'Driscoll gang, led by his arch-nemesis Colm O'Driscoll. This raid gives them insight into a robbery opportunity, a nearby passing train owned by the oil tycoon Leviticus Cornwall, and it's safe to say that it is just another day on the job for this gang.
Here we go! Here we go! Yeah, you're okay. What is wrong? Stop this train!
We don't want to kill any of you. Any more of you. I give you my word, but trust me, we will.
I work for Leviticus Cornwall.
Come on, boys.
We got our orders.
Okay, you asked for it.
We ain't
5,
opening this door.
4, 3, 2, 1. Seems our friends have gone deaf. Wake them up a little.
With a bit more money, the gang head down to greener pastures, running into the natives in the area who Charles Smith's insurers wouldn't have been so kind if they wanted the gang dead.
If they wanted trouble, we wouldn't have seen them.
Reassured, the gang reach Horseshoe Overlook, a hideaway near the town of Valentine where the plan becomes to lay low, something that doesn't last very long at all after Arthur gets into a fistfight in the saloon almost immediately.
Come on, pretty boy. Pretty boy? You're kidding me. Pretty boy?
Stop! Please! Please! I beg you, stop! Come, sir. You won the fight already. Surely that's enough.
What business is it of yours?
No business. No business, sir, but please, I beg you.
Over the second chapter of the game, we get insight into the life of the gang, as Arthur helps Hosea hunt for food, takes the girls of the gang into the town to scope out robbery targets, and of course helps Leopold Strauss collect debts for the gang, an endeavour which leads him to a sick, dying farmer named Thomas Downs, who covers Arthur in mucus from his coughs as the outlaw beats him to a pulp.
You borrowed money from my business partner, Herr Strauss. You owe him, you took the money. He wants it back, what's not to understand? Where's our money?
I don't have it.
The gang travel back down towards Blackwater to rescue Sean, who was captured in the heist, before John pitches a robbery idea to Arthur, who reluctantly admits a glimmer of smarts in Marston.
That is kind of brilliant. For you. That is a real idea. I think that's the first time you ever had one of them.
The two successfully take a train, and John suggests another money-making opportunity in Valentine, but after Arthur joins him, he takes the man's son on a fishing trip, which is rudely interrupted by Andrew Milton and Edgar Ross of the Pinkerton Detective Agency. As it becomes clear, the gang's time in Horseshoe Overlook is thinning.
You're a wanted man, Mr. Morgan. There's $5,000 for your head alone.
$5,000? For me? Can I turn myself in?
We want Vanderlinde.
Oh, Dutch. I haven't seen him for months.
Arthur then travels up to the town of Strawberry, where he rescues the deranged third in command of the gang, Michael Bell, from prison, which ends up in the entire town being massacred by the madman. And in an attempt to be a little less conspicuous, Arthur joins John for a simple sheep rustling job, which despite leading them to being underpaid, is a success. This success is short-lived, however, as after the two reconvene with Dutch at a saloon, they're confronted by Leviticus Cornwall and a swarm of hired guns that they only just escape with their lives.
Vanderlinde! Get out here! Get out
What
here
the
now! Vanderlinde! You don't know me, but you keep robbing me. My name is Leviticus Cornwall. I am not a man to be messed with by the likes of you.
Fleeing the state, Arthur rides with Charles down south to the state of Lemoyne, where they find a new hideout at Clemens Point, and Dutch's plan of money-making kicks into full gear, spurred on by the threats of the Pinkertons. The gang immediately involve themselves in a local family rivalry in the town of Rhodes, between two former plantation families called the Lees and the Braithwaites. Playing both sides of the rivalry, the gang uses the tensions to steal and sell moonshine, all while avoiding the barbarian gang known as the Lemoyne Raiders, who Arthur and Lenny both rob at their own plantation house at Shady Belle. It's here we also see Sadie Adler come into her own, as a surprising set of skills make her a valuable asset to the gang outside of supposed traditional duties. At this point, the gang gets a message from Combe O'Driscoll, promising a truce between the two sets of outlaws, but it's shown to be an ambush, as the gang kidnap Arthur and brutalise him for days, before he's eventually able to escape, no thanks to Dutch or the gang.
Arthur! Arthur?
Arthur!
I told you it was a setup, Dutch.
My boy.
They got me. But I got away.
I'm sorry, Arthur.
It is a bit late for apologies. Swanson! Mr. Morgan! Mr. Morgan, you're safe now!
Oh, let's get him to bed.
You are safe now, Arthur.
Okay. I got you.
You're safe now.
That's pretty, Dutch. That's real pretty.
Miss Grimshaw, will you sit with him a while?
Of course. You'll be okay, Mr. Morgan. You're home.
After a few weeks of recovery, Arthur awakens to find the gang still playing the families, but it seems their facades are broken, as they're ambushed by the Greys in Rhodes. As they escape to the camp, they find Jack has been kidnapped by the Braithwaites, forcing the gang to ride on the manor and burn it to the ground, before discovering Jack was sold to a socialite and criminal emperor in Saint Denis.
I never liked you.
Why'd you take the boy, Mrs. Braithwaite?
You stole my
Boys are off
liquor.
limits.
You stole my horses. Ain't no rules in war, mister.
Matthews.
Yes, that's it.
Where's the boy?
My sons gave him to Angelo Bronte. So my guess is Saint Denis. Either there or on my boat to Italy.
Let's go.
Arthur, come on!
What we doing with her?
Leave her.
I told you she was crazy.
At this point, the gang are hunted down again by the Pinkertons, but proven to be outnumbered, Milton and Ross leave Dutch with a warning to turn himself in.
But I came to make a deal. It's time. You come with me, and I give the rest of you 3 days to run off, disappear, and go and live like human beings someplace else.
You came for me? Risk life and limb in this den of lowlifes and murderers so that they might live and love? Ain't that fine?
I don't want to kill all these folk, Dutch. Just you.
In that case, it'll be my honor to join you. Excuse me, friends. I have an appointment to keep with...
I think your new friend should leave now, Dutch.
You're making a big mistake. All of you.
Yeah, dreadful. We have got something. Something to live and die for. How awful for us.
Mr. Milton, stop following us. We'll be gone soon.
I'm afraid I can't. And when I return, I'll be with 50 men. All of you will die. Run away from this place, you fools! Run!
Come on.
Get your damn hands off of me, boy.
What now?
We get out of here.
And so the gang relocate once more, using the house at Shady Belle Arthur and Lenny had uncovered earlier and the most luxurious of stays the gang's had.
We got fine living. No the corpses and the alligators, it's paradise.
Dutch, Hosea and Arthur begin to plan and come to two must-dos. Recover Jack from Angelo Bronte and capture enough cash to make their escape from America, with Dutch's grand vision being bringing the gang to the Caribbean island of Tahiti. And so, Dutch does what he thinks he does best. He makes allies, immediately introducing himself directly to Angelo Bronte, and seemingly making a truce with him, on the condition that he steals papers from the mayor's office at a grand party. In return, the gang are to receive Jack, along with information on a post office supposedly full of cash in the middle of the city. This, however, turns out to be another setup, and Dutch and Arthur are forced into a carriage chase through Saint Denis, which culminates in a brutal crash and Dutch receiving a severe head injury.
The thing's broke. Hold on!
But this doesn't deter them from the city, as the National Bank is still a promising opportunity for the gang. Before they can rob it, however, Arthur meets one Rains Fall and his son Eagle Flies, who are attempting to prevent the destruction of their reservation in the north, which Arthur promises aid to. Meanwhile, Dutch plans his vengeance on Angelo Bronte, and after sneaking into his land via riverboat, Dutch allows his mask of righteousness to slip, brutally drowning the man in the swampland, letting rage outweigh his usual puritanical motives.
Already, the dogs are on the way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're right. You are so right. They are good at smelling filth, huh? So filth has got to be disposed of. Your friends, the Pinkertons, gonna come and rescue you, you repulsive little maggot. Call them now. You call them.
Jesus. Part of your philosophy books cover feeding a fella to a goddamn alligator, Dutch.
The part that covers weakness. That part.
With their enemies taken care of, the gang push forward to the bank, but a trend begins to surface, as yet again they're set up and sold out to the Pinkertons, who are seemingly always 3 steps ahead of their plan. And in tragic fashion, the agency rained down the Saint Denis police, killing both Hosea and Lenny in their wake, as well as capturing John.
Here now! Someone must have squealed.
Never should have gone after Bronte, Dutch.
Mr. Milton, let my friends go, or folks, they are gonna get shot unnecessarily.
Your friend? Why would I do that?
Come on, Milton.
It's over. No more bargains, no more deals.
Mr. Milton, this is America. You can always cut a deal.
I've given you enough chances.
Come on!
No!
God damn it!
There's your deal, Dutch.
Leaping across the rooftops of the city, the gang reach an abandoned apartment they hide out in, until that night, when they escape the city by sneaking onto a ship headed for the Caribbean. But it's not Tahiti that they reach, as the ship is wrecked during a storm, and the gang wash up on the oppressed island of Guarma, immediately taken prisoner before they're broken free by local rebels. The rebels offer help for Dutch, Arthur, Micah, Javier and Bill Williamson, with promise of a ship back to America if they can help in tearing down the power of the tyrannous Colonel Alberto Fusar. In the process, Arthur begins to witness Dutch's gracious nature become more sadistic, slaughtering an old woman in cold blood.
Jesus! Easy, Dutch. What was that?
Horrible old crone.
But you killed her.
She was gonna betray us, Arthur. Couldn't you tell?
No.
Well, I got some Spanish. She was.
You keep killing folk, Dutch.
I am just trying to make sure that some of us survive, Arthur. Now,
Shall we proceed?
After fighting alongside the rebels, the gang find their way back to the States, where they're able to regroup with the gang, and alongside Charles, Arthur's able to uncover a new hideout at Beaver Hollow, after taking out the cannibalistic family known as the Murphy Brood that terrorized the area. Returning one of the Brood's prisoners to the nearby mining town of Annisburg, Arthur catches a glimpse of Edith Downs, the wife of the now dead Thomas Downs, who's fallen on hard times and has gone to prostitution. Running from Arthur, she leaves him to return to Beaver Hollow, where he finds the gang in anarchy, as Dutch's romantic partner Molly O'Shea drunkenly suggests she's betrayed the gang, and was the reason for their heists falling through, a revelation that the gang greets with a bullet through the chest.
So, Dutch, did you miss me?
I found her, drunk in Saint Denis.
You're back. How jolly, Miss O'Shea.
It's funny, you sack of shit.
Back
Who are
and
you?
drunk.
The Master, the Lord
Molly,
God Almighty.
calm down.
I won't be ignored. Dutch Vanderlyn, I amn't him. I ain't her. Or any of his stooges.
Calm
You
yourself.
don't owe me nothing.
Miss.
I don't owe you nothing. Nothing.
Okay.
I'll spit in your eye. I did. I told them.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I told them and I tell them again. Now I've got God's ear.
You told who what?
Mr. Milton and Mr. Ross about the bank robbery, and I wanted them to kill you.
You did what?
I loved you, you goddamn bastard! Go on, shoot me!
She ain't worth it.
You told on me.
Oh, you're
You
not so
betrayed
big now,
me.
are you?
What?
Calm down.
Arthur,
She's a fool. Get her out of here.
you know the rules.
Oh, not so big now! Are we, Your Majesty?
You...
She knew the rules, Arthur.
With the gang in shambles and John stuck in prison after being captured, Arthur travels to Saint Denis to meet with Sadie, but as he reaches the city, his breathing shallows and he collapses, and after being dragged to a doctor, he gets a horrifying revelation.
What is it?
It's not good news.
I guess that.
You got tuberculosis. Really sorry for you, son. It's a hell of a thing.
What you mean?
You're real sick. It's a progressive disease, and you'll be... Now, the best thing is rest, and getting somewhere warm and dry, and taking it easy. Now, is that possible?
Sure, I can just take my winters in my country club in California.
Arthur's past returns to bite him, as the coughing of Thomas Downs led him to contract tuberculosis, and with his health in perpetual decline, Arthur's already shifting motivations lock in. His loyalty is to the people he's sworn to take care of, and that begins with John and his family. With the help of Sadie and a hot air balloon, Arthur breaks John out of the island prison by Saint Denis, despite Dutch warning him against the rescue mission.
What are you doing here?
It's good to see you too, partner.
I meant I hadn't sent for you yet.
I win.
But I said that.
Yeah, I know what you said. I felt different.
Is that so?
Yes.
Whilst in Annisburg, Dutch finds Leviticus Cornwall, taking revenge on the man in order to obtain more cash, bringing further notoriety to the gang. Meanwhile, Arthur reunites with Edith Downs and, with his death imminent, does everything he can to get her and her son out of the poverty they're stuck in, despite her best wishes.
Here, take this. I don't need it no more.
I don't want your money.
Yeah, I know you don't want it.
I don't.
You sure as shit need it. Take it.
No.
I ain't looking for forgiveness. It ain't about that. Don't forgive me. Just take the money and get out of here, please. I know I ruined your life. I suffer for it every day. But don't let yourself get killed for pride. I seen it kill too many folk. Don't say anything. Don't thank me. Just take the money and pack your bags. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
I said don't thank me. Get out of here. Please.
These personal missions continue as Arthur returns to meet the Native Americans, meeting with Rains Fall to discuss ways to prevent the military interventions on the people's reservations, as the chief tries to prevent his son from taking on a revenge mission.
I'm so glad you could make it.
How are you?
My son. My son is foolish, but he's still my son.
I know your son. A little. He's very brave. Very angry. He's mean.
How is your father?
He's dead a long time. He lived a lot longer than was good for any of us.
My son probably wishes the same to me.
I doubt that.
I want peace. I need my people to be safe. All my life I've tried to bring peace. But I love my son. They'll hang him for treason. Treason. He is the chief son of a proud nation. How could he commit treason?
Despite Arthur's intentions, Dutch immediately jumps to use the native struggles to his advantage, manipulating Eagle Flies into getting more aggressive against the military, a disastrous effort that gets John shot off his horse, and apparently killed.
Follow my lead. I got a plan. This is a good one. Hello, officers!
You keep them hands up and come here. Put your hands up!
Hello, Captain.
Keep your hands up and come here. Come here.
We can't do that. Your man... Those men they killed? They were good men. You're fighting nature, Captain.
Get over here!
Ask my friend here. My whole life, I tried to fight change. It's a waste. I see that now. It's waste. You can't fight nature, Captain. You can't fight change. You can't fight gravity.
When the gang travel back, it's revealed that the Pinkertons have tracked them down once again, and they've kidnapped Abigail and taken her to Van Horn. Immediately, Arthur and Sadie jump to rescue her, but Dutch refuses, a final sign that he's no longer intending on protecting these people he claims to love, but is set instead on his own plans. And as Arthur confronts Milton one final time, it's revealed that it wasn't Miss O'Shea, but Micah Bell that had been selling the gang out this whole time, setting them up on their failed heists. Shocked but unsurprised, Arthur rides back to camp to confront Micah.
Come on, get out of here.
Arthur, what are you doing?
I gotta go have a little chat before I get much sicker.
No, Arthur.
Don't you owe Arthur me. Neither of you two. Not now. You both know. You're good women. Good people.
By the time he gets there, he realizes his word no longer means anything to his leader. With his health in decline, he doesn't serve Dutch the same way he once did, and the gang splits into two halves as John returns alive, revealing Dutch left him to die. The gang, it seems, is truly over.
We all need to have a little chat.
Black Lung, you're back. Hooray.
I just saw Agent Milton, Dutch. Abigail shot him. She's okay. Not that you care too much about that. You rats. All of you. Seems old Micah was pretty close with Milton.
What the hell are you talking about, cowpoke?
You talked.
That's a goddamn lie.
Dutch.
Dutch, think of the future.
Milton told me.
And you believe him, Black Lung? You believe him?
It all makes sense now.
No, it damn well doesn't.
Dutch, think.
Dutch, be practical now.
Dutch!
John?
You left me! You left me to die!
My boy, I didn't have a choice. John, I didn't have a choice.
Left me!
All of you pick your side now because this is over. All them years, Dutch, for this snake.
Oh, be quiet, cowpoke. Be quiet. You live in the clouds.
No, you be quiet, Mr. Bell, and put down your gun.
There's Pinkertons coming, fast!
Now!
Who amongst you is with me? And who is betraying me?
Well, I'm here. Think for yourself.
He's lying. He's lying!
Put your guns down!
God damn it! Move!
Scaling the mountains, Arthur tells John to go on, ensuring that his little brother can escape his life and live the life he never did, live peacefully with his family. And holding off the Pinkertons, he gets John his escape, before coming face to face with Micah once more. Weak from his illness, he tries to fight off the traitor and get the chance to finish him, but just as he grabs his gun...
It is over. Now, Arthur. It's over.
Oh, Dutch. He's right. You know it, and I know it.
He's sick. He's dying. He's talking crazy.
There! Up there on the ridge!
I gave you all I had. I did.
Come on. Dutch. Let's go, buddy. We made it. We won. Come on.
John made it. He's the only one. The rest of us... No. But I tried. In the end, I did.
Come on. Let's go. We can make it. Come on, Dutch! Come on!
Dutch abandons his best friend, his greatest ally, his brother, leaving him on to look onto a rising sun as the last inkling of life leaves his body. Here we transition to 7 years later, in the shoes of John Marston, who's been living low with Abigail and Jack under various aliases. Travelling to Strawberry, John is able to find a job at a local farm as a ranch hand, but it becomes clear to the ranch owner quickly that John isn't the man he appears, as he protects the farm from bandits and comes across the law numerous times.
You know that woman of yours got the look of a woman ain't had a real ride in her life. She's gotta make do with some piss-poor stinking farmhand. Hey, tell her I'll let her in my sheets. Long as...
As he continues to work, he gets a telegram from Sadie, who's become a bounty hunter in her later years, and after Abigail and Jack leave the farm to protect themselves from his dark past, John decides to reholster his gun and do what he does best. Working away as a bounty hunter, John is able to travel to Blackwater and get credit for a small plot of land, and begin to build his own home at Beecher's Hope in West Elizabeth. Here he comes back into contact with Uncle, and after a stop off in Saint Denis, reunites with Charles, and the three men work together to build up the ranch into something respectable. Eventually, John gets back in touch with Abigail, and she eventually returns to Beecher's Hope, where John finally, officially proposes to her, and the two get truly married, finally finding the life that Arthur wished for them, that they desired for so long. But when Sadie comes knocking with news that she's tracked down Micah, John's lust for revenge gets the better of him, despite Arthur's insistence that revenge is an idiot's game. John can't help himself but to track down the traitor, and take him out, returning to the snowy Grizzly Mountains and facing off against him. But it's not John who strikes the killing blow, as when all hope seems lost...
Hello, son. Mrs. Adler. It's been quite a while.
Now, John. Now, what were you saying?
I ain't got too much to say no more.
You shot me. You shot me pretty good.
Returning to Beecher's Hope, it seems all will be peaceful. However, you can't escape the past, as John's bounty hunting and his murder of Micah is just enough for Edgar Ross and the Pinkertons to track him down once again, and take him away from his family once more. John, however, is able to strike a deal. Track down and kill the remaining members of the Vanderlyn gang, Bill Williamson, Javier Escuela, and Dutch himself, and he will be a free man. And it seems John has no other choice, and so he resaddles his horse and returns to his outlaw ways once more, beginning by travelling to Fort Mercer, the stronghold Bill's taken over. It's clear that it won't be simple though, as John is shot and saved by a local farmer by the name of Bonnie McFarlane. Helping out the ranch to pay back Bonnie for her generosity, John's led into the town of Armadillo, where he meets the local sheriff Lee Johnson, who agrees to aid him in his endeavour to storm Fort Mercer in return for help with local bandits. The sheriff leads him to meet a local snake oil merchant by the name of Nigel Westikins, who John joins in his scams of the locals, in return for use of his carriage in the storming of the fort. John also comes across a drunk called Irish, who he allies himself with to uncover a heavy-set Gatling gun to attach to the carriage, as well as Seth, an insane grave robber that acts as the perfect set of extra hands in the raid, as he's able to sneak behind enemy lines. Before he can take on the fort, John helps the sheriff take care of a group of local bandits who are brutalizing local settlers, and we see just to what extent the law has been corrupted by money.
Holy sweet mother of mercy.
Please don't shoot me. Some bandits came by and took us hostage. They're holed up in the farmhouse. Some of my family is being kept hostage inside.
This has gone far enough. Get into that house and smoke those sons of bitches.
Some folk tried escaping to the south, but then some robbers started chasing them down like wild dogs. I thought you were supposed to protect us, Marshal. You folk ain't men. You ain't nothing. You're just a man on a government payroll taking money that the rest of us have to pay for with our lives. Yeah. What is wrong with this country?
Not up, men. The man that kills the boss of that bunch gets $50.
It ain't about the money, Marshal! These are people's lives! People's homes!
Returning to the ranch before the raid, John finds it burning to the ground, and after saving the horses, Bonnie promises to help him start up his farm at Beecher's Hope. The next morning though, Bonnie's found to be missing, kidnapped by the bandits John and the sheriff have been trying to rid the area of. And so they storm the bandits' camp, saving Bonnie from a hanging in the nick of time.
Bonnie, are you okay?
I'm fine now, Mr. Marston. Thank you. Thank you. What the hell took you so long, you stupid man?
Well, you weren't exactly helping me.
If you think I'm gonna lower myself by making a joke about being all tied up, you got another thing coming. Come on.
Finally, John is free to storm Fort Mercer, but after a successful attack, the men find Bill Williamson's gone, having fled to Mexico to regroup with John's other target, Javier Escuela. Travelling down south with Irish, John travels to the town of Chuparosa, where he meets the infamous gunslinger of old, Landon Ricketts, a man that embodies what life is when you cannot give up your glory days.
There's no escape. Look at me, I spent 25 years killing men. Look at me now. Sitting around here like some low-rent would-be messiah. We're relics. Come on, have yourself another drink and let's wallow in a little self-pity.
Sounds like a plan.
To your health.
John also meets one of the military captains in Mexico, Vinceni de Santa, and he gets privy into the civil war in the country, a civil war John uses to uncover the locations of both Javier and Bill. Taking a page out of Dutch's book, John plays both sides of the war, doing jobs for both the rebels and the army, each respectively led by incompetent and underwhelming leaders, Abraham Reyes and Colonel Allende. As the revolution gets fully underway, John storms a fort and finally uncovers Javier.
Hello, old friend. It's been a long time.
Hello, brother. It's good to see you. I heard you was coming. You took your time, no? Come on, you're not gonna shoot your own brother, are you? We was family.
Yeah, we were. Then you and Dutch went crazy and family didn't mean so much.
So now you do the government's work.
And what do? You just work for a different government.
Come on, brother. I think we should go our separate ways, huh?
What you and Dutch did was wrong. And the way you left me was wrong. Now, I hate to judge, but as it turns out, it's you or me. The way I see it, might as well be you.
We thought you was dead, brother. I promise. I'm telling the truth. Besides, I can give you Bill. In Dutch. Dutch is in Colombia. I can take you straight to him.
You left me to die? Whoa. To save your own skin, and now you expect me to care about you?
You got it all wrong, brother. I've always loved you. Even now.
After a short chase, John eliminates Javier and returns his body to Edgar Ross and the Pinkertons, travelling back to Mexico to kidnap Colonel Allende and in return be given Bill's life. Having eliminated his targets, John leaves the country in the hands of Reyes, travelling back to Blackwater to find his old brother Dutch having resurfaced in the area. John's initial duties are extended, and he's instructed that he must be the one who pulls the trigger.
Mr. Marston, please. I've never insulted your meager intelligence. Do not insult mine. We've done this little deal for your freedom in exchange for all your men from your old gang. You gave us Williamson and Escuela. We still don't have Vanderlyn, but now we know where he is.
Then go and shoot him.
No, sir. I want you to shoot him for me. And then I'll let you be.
A bank robbery in Blackwater sees Dutch and John come face to face once more as the gang leader continues to raise his notoriety.
Oh, it's nice to see you, John.
On the hunt for Dutch, John encounters a eugenicist and a Native American respectively, and the latter brings John to Dutch's hideout, once again in the cold snowy mountains where John faces off in one last stand against the man that raised him.
again, John.
Hello, Dutch.
We gotta stop meeting like this.
Sure.
I got a plan, John.
You always got a plan, Dutch.
This is a good one.
I don't doubt it.
We can't always fight nature, John. We can't fight change. Can't fight gravity. We can't fight nothing. My whole life, all I ever did was fight.
Then give up, Dutch.
But I can't give up, neither. I can't fight my own nature. That's a paradox, John. You see?
Then I have to shoot you.
When I'm gone, they'll just find another monster. They have to. Because they have to justify their wages.
That's their business.
Our time has passed, John.
So at the end, you didn't have the guts to shoot him.
The man's dead, Ross.
Sure. Can I see your gun? Oh, trust me. It looks better in the report that way.
With his final job seemingly done, John returns to Abigail and Jack to Beecher's Hope, with the life he sought finally in his grasp. Getting a delivery of cattle from Bonnie, the ranch begins to pick up steam, with Uncle and Jack working away. Our hero finally gets the chance to try and be the father he wants to be, to a Jack now in his teenage years.
You're tensing up.
I'm not.
You are. Your back's tense and it's making the rifle jump. You're holding it wrong. Here, let me show you.
I don't need you to show me, Paul.
I guess not.
Don't show me and you'll just run off again or something. It's better I teach myself.
I ain't going nowhere.
Whatever you say, Paul.
Don't be like that.
Sorry.
But once again, it's shown no matter how far you run from the past, you can't always escape it. Despite living low and living pure, the government aren't finished with John. As it turns out, the new monster they need to justify their wages is John himself. As the military swarms Beecher's Hope, it leaves John with only one option: to make sure his family are safe.
Come on. Now listen. Jack, darling, get on this horse. Get out of here. Go find a place to hide.
You're coming with us, Paul.
I'll catch up. You keep riding and don't look back. And don't be worried about me, you hear? Now get going.
You stay out of trouble, John.
Ain't no trouble, Abigail. Ain't no trouble. I love you.
I love you.
Now go! Get!
Despite the pain it's caused, despite both Arthur and John's rampant efforts to end the cycle of violence they both fell into, despite those men redeeming themselves and leaving vengeance by the wayside, their deaths stand for nothing, as Jack gives up his great potential and becomes the final outlaw of the West, tracking down a retired Edgar Ross and getting a final justice that leaves Jack's life without any light in his future.
I've come for you, Ross.
And you, boy, have sure as shit found me.
You killed my father.
Your father killed himself with the life he lived.
You killed him. I saw you.
You keep saying that.
You sent him to do your dirty work. Then you shot him like a dog.
And I'll shoot you like one too, you little piece of trash. Now get out of here before I kill you as well.
I ain't going nowhere, old man.
And on that heartbreaking final victory, our story comes to an end. At least for now. And that is the story of Red Dead Redemption. If you enjoyed, please do hit like, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe with post notifications turned on. Also, I'd really appreciate it if you could check out my Patreon in the description below, patreon.com/FoundedProductions, where you can get early access and exclusive videos. With all that being said, I've been Joe, and I will see you in the next one.